beautiful, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to this video where I am going to be reacting to your unpopular opinions about makeup trends, makeup products, makeup brands. I got some really juicy ones. You did not hold back, so let's dive into it. And if this is your first video here, if you have not seen me before, hello, my name is Angie. I'm such a lover of everything beauty and makeup related. I just love diving into makeup, finding new favorites, finding old favorites, trying new things, and also wearing a lot of color. I am such a lover of color, and if you want to see more of that, don't forget to subscribe because I upload 5 videos a week. Like I said, you did not hold back, so I did screen save a couple of these, and if I don't take yours, I'm very sorry. I did get quite a few unpopular opinions, and this is going to be me reacting to your unpopular opinions, and I'm going to let you know if I agree or if I disagree, because let's be honest, I might disagree. If you're wondering about this look, I did film it, it's already live. I will leave it down below together with a link to all the things that I'm wearing on my face and my merch shop, my vlog channel, and my other social, in case you want to keep up, because it's on my Instagram where I usually ask things like this. Okay. Some of these I strongly disagree with. Some of these I'm like, meh, and some of these I actually agree with. So let's start with one that I actually kind of strongly disagree with. And no hate if you feel like this. Listen, these are all opinions. We're all allowed to have them. We're allowed to disagree. Friends don't always agree, but friends are always respectful to each other. This one is, I love makeup that enhances my beauty, not beautiful makeup. I hope that that makes sense. Personally, I don't do makeup to enhance my beauty. I feel beautiful. I feel as beautiful without makeup as I do with makeup. I don't do makeup to be beautiful or to be more beautiful. I do makeup because it's fun, because it's inspirational, because it's creative, and therefore I don't care if the makeup makes me more or less beautiful. I can feel more or less beautiful in different looks, but that's not the reason why I buy makeup. It's not the reason why I wear makeup. So for me, I'd prefer the makeup to be beautiful and inspirational to look at and to use over it making me conventionally prettier. I hope that makes sense. And that's just my opinion, and I totally understand that there are other people out there that feel totally different. And you're gonna see this with a lot of these answers and like a lot of these opinions, and now like how I disagree about them. Oh, now I'm forgetting how to maneuver an iPhone. Setting spray does nothing. I actually disagree. It kind of depends though what kind of setting spray you're using. This one, the Urban Decay All Nighter, mine looks like it's been through 7 hard biblical years. Okay, let's put that one back and let's not look at it. That one, it actually does prolong my makeup wear. It adds an hour or 2, sometimes even 3, depending on my foundation, as to how long my foundation stays in place, stays transfer proof, and doesn't break down or tries to slide off my face. That works for me. Then there are other things, like for example, something like a Slay All Day. It does a similar thing, but then we have these. Let me pull this one out. Why is there long hair here? What's for that? This is the Tatcha one. I mean, this doesn't prolong your makeup, but it also doesn't say that it's gonna prolong your makeup. This one is perfect if you put on too much powder and you want it to look glowy, because there is some oil in this. You have to like shake it, and there's some oil in it. It will give some luminousness. That's not a word. I made up a word. It's gonna give that back to your face, but it's not. It's gonna actually probably make your makeup break down faster because it is oil in it. There are also finishing sprays, not setting sprays, but finishing sprays such as like MAC Fix Plus, which is only there to melt all your layers together and to take the powderiness down a bit. That doesn't do anything to prolong your makeup, but it makes it look fresh again after maybe applying a couple of layers of powder. So for me, they definitely do something, but it's depending on what kind of mist do you have and what kind of result are you looking for. This one was interesting because I do disagree, and this is Colourpop's eyeshadow formula isn't not good, just affordable or good for the price. I have been talking on my channel that I thought a couple of palettes that they released in 2019 were just okay. They were good. They weren't like that good Colourpop formula, but then they released some palettes this year, such as the Lush Life, for example, that are like, if you took away the packaging, you gave me the shadows, and you were like, this is ABH, this is Urban Decay. Urban Decay is a bad example because they don't have an exceptional formula, but you get where I'm coming. I would have never said anything about that because that is a great formula. I do think though that they are a little bit inconsistent, but I honestly think that when they do it good, they do it real good, like capital letters good. But I do agree that there are some there that are just like, ugh. And I did say that, and I know some people disagree, but I didn't think this Stone Cold Fox was a great palette. That was definitely a good for the price palette, in my humble opinion. This one is, I love pressed glitters and super glittery highlighters. I also love super glittery highlighters. I think that a highlighter that has a little bit of glitter in it, I got a couple of glittery highlighter things here. I think that that is what makes your face look a little wet. I kind of like that. I like that. But what I don't like is when it's just chunky glitter and it looks more like you're going to rave in 1999 than it looks like you're having a wet cheek. I don't want it to look like a unicorn barfed on my cheek. I want it to look like a wet look kind of a thing. Pressed glitters, I use glitters from time to time. I prefer myself a formula that's like in gel, like a gel formula. That's how I prefer to do my glitters, or like glitter liners, because they're easier to maneuver. Pressed glitters I very rarely use, and I personally do not want them in my palettes because the glitters do tend to get into other eyeshadows, and I also would prefer to just have another shadow there instead. I like though what brands have been doing recently, where they have been putting some pressed glitters on the side, so you can pick up a small palette of pressed glitters on the side. That I like because it's options. I don't want the option, but it's for you, not for me. Blush kind of looks like someone slapped you in general, in my opinion. I disagree. A bad blush will look like you, this is like people talking about like fillers and like Botox and stuff. They're like, I hate fillers, it looks bad on everyone, but it's like, a visible filler is never a good look, like, but the invisible fillers, the ones you can't see, those you won't even think about. So obviously you're gonna think that all fillers are bad because you can only see the bad ones. And it's the same with blush. Like really good blush, you're not really paying attention to it because it's just giving back a little color to your face and making your face look flushed again. Personally, I'm not about the natural look or the I woke up like this. So I love a visible blush, and I like that too. Again, I'm not here to be pretty, I'm just here to have fun. That's why I will totally rock a metallic orange blush and be like, yeah, totally woke up like that. Yes. This is so interesting because I have a hot take about this one. People who wear lots of makeup are insecure about themselves. My unpopular opinion, people that tell other people that they are insecure because they wear a lot of makeup are actually insecure themselves. Why are you getting worked up about other people's choices when it comes to makeup? Like, what does that say about you? You mind your own business, okay? And let people who like makeup, who likes playing in makeup, you let them wear their own makeup. Don't tell them that they're insecure because they enjoy playing with color or enjoy playing with powders and creams. Like, that only says so much more about you than it would ever say about them. And like I said, I will go to parties with zero makeup on my face because I don't care. I'm not here to be pretty with makeup. If I don't have the time to have fun with makeup, I'm going with zero makeup. That is what I'm doing, and I am definitely not insecure about my looks, but when I do makeup, I pile it on. I love cream colored mattes in palettes. I need to set under my brows. I totally respect that. But if you use a cream colored matte every time you do your makeup, I think it's pretty selfish to expect that brands will put that in every palette that's on the market in case those people want to buy the palette, because most people I know don't use cream colored shadows under the brow bone. I think that a lot of people do, but I think far from everyone does. I don't use shadows like that at all, so for me that is a wasted space in a palette. And if I'm ever choosing between two palettes, I will always pick the one that doesn't have a matte brow bone shade. I think that if you use that every time you do your makeup, buy a really kick-ass one in a big pan to have on the side, and you're all set no matter what palette you get. Matte liquid lipsticks should make a comeback strong. Should come back strong ASAP. Oh my god, I can't read. I need an assistant, send help. When I read this, I was like, but they never went anywhere. I understand they're not in trend right now and you don't really see them, I say as I'm wearing one, but you don't really see them that much on Instagram or on influencers, maybe even on celebrities. Like, you don't see it that much, and maybe brands are not releasing that. But I don't know of any brand that has discontinued their liquid lipstick line. Most brands still have at least one formula in liquid lipsticks. They haven't discontinued, like they're still there. They're still available, and there are so many fun colors from different brands. So I would understand this more if they were like totally unpopular and they were all discontinued, but they're still here. This is a personal attack. Pink and red do not look good together. One of my favorite combos. I love the combo of red and pink together, so I feel personally offended by this one. Makeup has at least a few rules in order to create a pleasant effect. I'm not here to look pleasant. I'm not here to create a pleasant effect. I get where this one is coming from, but it all, like, what is your purpose? What is your purpose with your makeup? I feel like a lot of people do their makeup in a way that they are like, this is what I think the public is expecting from me. The public is expecting me to have an even skin tone, to do some concealer, a little bronzer, a little blush, not too much, nothing glittery, nothing visible, no blue eyeshadows. I feel like a lot of people are caught up in what they think the public are expecting. Like, nobody's expecting you to look like, you can look however you want, and I think that people forget that as caught up as you are in how you look and how you want to be perceived, everyone else is as well. Like, they don't have time to worry about you. Everyone is so worried about themselves. So personally, I'm not here to look pleasant, and I'm not here to do a pleasant effect, but I do agree that if you are here to look like a better version of yourself, I kind of hate that whole thing because I already think you are the best version of yourself, but if you are here to do like enhance your features or whatever they are calling it, sure, there are some rules, but I personally wish that people would see beyond the way that they do their makeup. Like, I understand that there's a lot of people out there that just do their makeup to be perceived as more beautiful according to norm. But I also wish that those people would understand that there's a lot of people out there that just are not. A truly good makeup look shouldn't need false lashes to look complete. I personally think that a good makeup look, like the look itself, could be based around lashes, and lashes could be part of the makeup look. There's a lot of makeup looks that I think are great without lashes, and there's a lot of like looks that I think are great even without eye makeup. I don't think you need anything to look good, but personally I love the look of lashes. I'm not trying to tell anyone like these aren't my real lashes. I'm not trying to fool anyone into like this is what I looked like when I woke up. Personally, I think that false lashes is part of my makeup aesthetics. And if they're not part of your journey, that's perfectly fine. But just because I do my makeup around the idea of wearing lashes, I don't think that that means that I'm bad at makeup. It just means that I look at makeup maybe in a different way. I love the look of false lashes on me, on others. And I will say the opposite. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion for me. I look at a lot of looks that other people do, and I'm like, this would have been even better with false lashes. Shimmers on the brow bone is kind of ugly. I kind of agree. I kind of agree. I try to do it from time to time. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be that person that puts some shimmer on my eye. And then I'm like, this was better before. I kind of don't like it. People will rave or trash the same color story depending on if they like the brand or not. Will they? Maybe they will. Maybe they will. I know for myself, when I look at new makeup releases, and if I look at like one brand is releasing a neutral palette and another brand is releasing a neutral palette, I try to not think as much of like comparing like the two palettes to each other as I try to compare the releases to what the brands have released before. For example, Too Faced is coming out with another neutral palette with a pop of mauve. We have seen that. A brand that's only done rainbow palette comes out with a neutral palette with a pop of mauve. That is new and exciting for that brand. Will I buy either one of those two? Probably not. I try to see it more as like, is this brand starting to dupe itself? That's more how I like to see it, because you can't expect brands to not release something that not any other brand has released. Like, everyone has released every color at this point, so if anyone's releasing a purple palette, they're not like the first one to do it. But if that brand has never had a purple eyeshadow palette, maybe it's not the worst of ideas. I don't mind if a brand has a neutral palette even though I'm not gonna get it. But I will say though, I'm more likely to try something out of my comfort zone from a brand that I love than from a brand that I don't love. But if my favorite brand stops doing interesting color stories and are just doing neutral palettes, listen, I'm gonna roast them for that as well, because I'm not expecting brands to be like innovative and come up with stuff that's never been released before, but at least I expect brands to not release the same thing that they have released before. This is so funny, and this is such a water divider, you would say in Swedish. Jeffree Star Cosmetics matte eyeshadow quality is the best. Y'all like hating on him. I honestly think the opposite. People that say that Jeffree Star eyeshadow formula is the best ever are people just trying to suck up to him, even though the brand or him, like, they don't care about you. I've tried his formula, and I've said this before, I've tried his formula, I've tried the old one, I've tried the new one. I owned some of the old palettes before a lot of things came out about him, and I've also tried the new formula from some people around me that have some of the new palettes. They're okay. They're okay. They're not bad, but they're definitely not the best formula I've tried by a long shot. So you are allowed to think this, but the fact that you think that the only reason why I'm not raving about this formula is because I don't like Jeffree Star is pretty small-minded. It's okay. It is not groundbreaking. It is not the best formula in the world, in my humble opinion. People went too harsh for ABH releasing so much in 2019. I actually touched on this either in 2019 or in the beginning of 2020, where I said that ABH actually did not release that many palettes if you were like comparing them to other brands, because Pat McGrath, for example, released the same amount of palettes during a short time as ABH did. I think with ABH, what made people be so upset is that it was really out of character. They've never done this before, and also because they were releasing so many big palettes and so many palettes that they were releasing this sub-brand Norvina that was like not exactly ABH but something totally different, and it threw people off. And the third reason, which I think is the biggest reason and the strongest reason why people were opposing this, is that they released like 5 palettes in 1.5 months, and 2 of those were collaboration palettes, and it really made ABH look like they didn't care about their collaborators because they were just burying them on the release upon release upon release, and it just made it look like they didn't care about the people they were collabing with. And I think that is what makes people be a bit salty about it. But honestly, I mean, had they released all of those things spread out through 2019, I don't think anyone would have said anything. Foundation almost never looks good, and most people don't need it. I strongly disagree. I think foundation, if you do it right, almost always looks really good. And again, it's like, for what reason are you wearing makeup? And need it? I don't know. Nobody needs it. But again, it's like, what do you think people need then? You say most people don't need it? But we don't need any of this. Like, we don't need any of this makeup, to be honest. But some people might feel like they do need it. And some people might feel like they do feel like it's better with foundation than without. And I think it's important, again, especially if you have skin that is more according to the norm, no acne, no scarring, no discoloration. It's so easy to be like, what are people wearing foundation for? Because it's so easy to think that you can just go without, but a lot of people might be struggling with other things that makes them feel like they want to wear foundation to just have one less thing to think about. So personally, I don't think we need any of this. Here's another one, and this again, I feel like it's so interesting. There's no such thing as undetectable foundation. How would you know? How would you know? How would you know? If you can't, if it's undetectable, you can't spot it. Am I the only ones seeing? The foundation you're seeing is obviously detectable. The foundation you're not seeing, let's end with this one, because this is something that I'm saying all the time. Contour and bronzer are not the same thing. Yes, I've gotten so much flack in my comments over the fact that I am sometimes bronzing my forehead, because it's like, you don't need to contour your forehead. It's already a small forehead. Not contouring with bronzer. Not contouring with bronzer. Bronzer is to make your skin look like it's getting some dimension back, getting some warmth back. You're putting bronzer where the sun hits your face. It's supposed to bring warmth back to your skin. And I have a small forehead, but it's not so small that the sun won't hit it. And a contour is more like where you want to accentuate some shadows in your skin. I don't do any kind of contour. It happens once in every blue moon, but contour isn't really part of my aesthetic, although I will say that it looks so good on others. I very rarely do it, but contour and bronzer, not the same thing. Louder for the people in the back. But yeah, not the same thing. Anyways, do you have any other unpopular makeup opinions, or do you disagree with any of the ones I have? Listen, even if I disagree with your opinion, it is okay. I'm not upset with anyone. I do think that we are living right now in a time where people get upset when others don't agree. Do you know how many billion people there are on this planet? You can't be upset with everyone that doesn't agree with you. Sometimes you can just agree to disagree, and if you feel like it's hard to talk to someone that has a different opinion than you, change the subject. Change the subject to something else, because you cannot agree with everyone about everything. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again in a new video. Bye!